Hello there, folks. I'm TJ, and welcome back to another episode of Behind the Toppets. Today, we got a very amazing episode planned up for you guys. We have 3 of the most hardworking people on the Toppets team. We have Marcello, Peak Animation, and Kevin. First, we're going to get Kevin in here, then Peak, then Marcello, and then have the 4 of us talk and nerd out about the Toppets. And maybe the Muppets, I don't know, whatever we got time for. So first, let's get Kevin up in here. Hello?
Hello there.
Hey, Kevin, how's it going?
Oh, everything is good, I think.
So, Kevin, people are loving your episode of the podcast and have been loving Roommates. What do you think about that? People are just loving the stuff that you are making and you're a part of.
I don't know what to say. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's amazing. I don't know why they love what I do, but it's perfect for me. I don't know.
They love your stuff, man. So that means there's gonna be more stuff on its way of your stuff. So that's
that's right.
That's right. So Kevin, we're gonna have on Marcello and Peak Animation. Do you know about their work at all on the Toppets at all? You ever seen the stuff that they make for the company?
Yes. You know about them.
You know about them? So you have seen like Peak's cartoons for the Toppets and Marcello's works. He's the one that designed your the logo for your show.
The logo is amazing.
It's amazing. Oh man, should we get Peak Animation up in here? Okay, we're gonna get Peak Animation. Here we go.
Hello there.
Peak, what's crack-a-lack and what's going on?
Nothing much. Nice to meet you, Kevin.
Hey, it's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Oh, so Peak, have you seen Kevin's projects for the Toppets company? Have you seen Roommates?
Oh, yeah, I have seen Roommates, and I'm not going to lie, Kevin, your characters are pretty awesome, and I love your work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, man. So, Peak, how's it going with you? How have you been?
Oh, it's going okay. I just got back from my nan's, and we were just coming home and all that. And I remember doing this podcast.
And we're doing this podcast, Behind the Toppets. So we're going to get Marcello in here, and then I'm going to ask you guys some questions. Okay? We're going to get the interview started.
Hey-ho.
Hey, Marcello. So, Marcello, I'm going to ask you the question when I ask these guys. Have you seen Peak's work, and have you seen Kevin's work?
Have I not seen Peak's work is the actual question that you should be asking me. Peak, I've seen a lot of your illustrations, a lot of the cartoons, and you got some really creative stuff on there. I mean, I've shared with you some fan drawings that I've done of some of the drawings that you've done. Yeah, I've sort of incorporated them into my own wacky Tex Avery style because your work is really good. A lot really imaginative, and also for Kevin, for the show Roommates, really inventive characters. So much fun. So much fun to watch.
Yeah, and you're also the voice of Joey the dog in Peak Animations. Which is short.
Oh, man.
It's all good here.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad everybody is enjoying each other. So, my question is, you all, I want you guys to think about a question for each other, at the end of the podcast. So during the podcast, kind of think about what kind of question am I going to ask Kevin? What kind of question I'm going to ask TJ? What kind of question I'm going to ask Peak, Marcello? So kind of find somebody. It can be, I'm going to think about a question for somebody during the podcast at the end. So that's just, I kind of want you guys to kind of brainstorm during the interview.
Yeah.
Well, my first question is, this is for all of you. What is the favorite character you work on for the company?
It's a toughie.
You go first, Marcello.
All right. Honestly, favorite ones for me is getting to draw. One of these characters. Like, I love drawing the characters for roommates. It's mainly because they have like a really fun, simple design, and it's easy for me to just add my own retro look to them.
I like that.
I would have to say Albert the Elephant, because he was at an OC adoption I didn't really want, but I soon realized that TJ wanted him for ABC series of an elephant, and he became one of my favorite characters for Toppets Studios to work on, because I love elephants and he loves elephants. We all love elephants.
Kevin, what is your favorite character to work with or work on or in general in the company?
Sam. I love Sam.
Sam?
Sam, I don't know why. He's like a part of me that I can show to everyone. So this is why I love him.
Sam's
He's so simple.
right?
He's so clever. I love him.
Well, my favorite character to work with is Spike. I think that's a common sense answer. It's like, duh, that makes so much sense. But I think Spike is one of those characters that you can throw Spike in whatever problem, and he's going to work just fine. So you throw Spike into a pirate ship. That's going to be entertaining.
Very much.
If you throw Spike into a dodgeball tournament, that's going to be entertaining too.
Oh! I got one.
You got one?
I got one. If you throw Spike in the Loud House, that would be entertaining.
Or throw him in Oscar, Kenya.
Of course it will.
But I think Spike's one of those characters that you can throw him in different situations, and it'll be entertaining, and it'll be fresh, And that's very rare for some characters for you to throw into different problems, Yeah. And Sam's kind of like that way too. I can definitely see Sam in different problems, or I can see that too. My next question: what is it like working for the Toppets? I'm gonna ask Peak. Peak, what is it like working for the Toppets?
Well, Teach, I would have to say it is pretty good to just to help out with in the cartoon department, because I'm known to be a cartoonist myself with amazing art and animation, and it's always an improvement after improvement, and I always like to have fun with the Toppets and with Spike Chupacabra and Big Red or Petunia the Cat, who I haven't met yet, and I'm always having fun with Sneaky Bat. It's ever since history.
Yeah, Marcello, what about you?
Oh man, just getting to play different characters, whether it's puppets or cartoons. It's always a pleasure. I mean, when I was brought on to play the Goblin, that was a lot of fun because yeah, thanks. I mean, when I was brought on to play him, there wasn't much thought that went into creating him. mainly because I just added a lot of myself to Vincent, which I do with a lot of characters that I've created, either for the Toppets or for myself. But the one that I also love is playing Tog, the singer, because that's more of a release. So getting to play characters, whether it's puppets, cartoons, it's a joy. And plus, getting to do it from a home studio, that's an added bonus.
Yeah.
Kevin, what about you, my man?
Oh well. As I said before, I really, well, in the podcast, I really enjoy building puppets, but I also enjoy doing random things with my puppets. I really enjoy filming short videos and doing stupid things. And well, this project is, I don't know, part of a dream that I had when I was a kid, watching the Muppet Show, watching Sesame Street, and I said, well, I want to be part of something like that. And well, here I am, being part of this show. I really love it.
So you guys are saying I'm a good boss, right?
Yeah, you are a good boss.
Yes,
You're
you
also my
are.
friend.
You are.
So my next question: if you had the chance to, let's say you are the Toppets don't exist, and you could pick out any Toppet character and say, that's my character. I made that, but like for real, you didn't make that character. But let's say they don't exist, but you can adopt them and say that's your original character. I asked Marcello this question, but I did not make it to the podcast episode. He had some problems, but I asked that to Marcello. But is there any characters that you wish that was yours, that I perform or I created, or I think I explained that question good.
Well, hopefully my audio doesn't cut out again, so I'll just give my same answer again. Vincent.
All right. Vincent?
Yep, Vincent. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna throw a double whammy right here. Vincent and Tog.
Vincent and Tog. I can see that.
Yep. Yeah, because for those that those that actually listen to to my episode of the podcast, a lot of my characters are heavy abstract. So they're not like humans, animals, aliens, all that stuff. I like them to be, somewhat abstract, and for me that really makes a character. So having Vincent and Tog on my side, if the Toppets didn't exist, that's who I'd pick.
Okay, I like that answer. That's really good. Pete, what about you?
Well, if I had to pick a character from the Toppets that, if they wouldn't exist, I would have to pick between either Larry the Lizardman or Big Red, because those guys are pretty good. And I would also have to pick Petunia just those three.
Those are really unique answers, Pete. When I ask that questions to like my friends in real life, they always say, "Oh, I'll have Spike."
I already have a lizard here at Peak Animations. His name is Regal. Actually, make that two lizards, one in the chicken and one in Myth City.
Yep. What about you, Kevin?
Ooh, well, my three favorite characters: Larry, the Lizard Man, Petunia, and Spike. I really love those three, and I don't know.
For my next question, what Toppet character you want to see more of in the future? We can start with Marcello with that question.
That's a tough one. Well, I mean, I know he already made his appearance, but definitely like to see more of Fish Cat.
Fish Cat?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a little break and ask you more about Fish Cat and how you created the voice and the character and the evolution. Sorry, Kevin and Peak. I wanna pick Marcelo's brain about Fish Cat for a second.
It's okay.
Sure. Well, when I saw Fish Cat, I didn't really have that many ideas for him. In terms of like his background, like where he's from, and all that stuff. But I don't know why I sort of went this route. But his voice, oftentimes I start with a voice and then go with the backstory, or I go with a backstory and then a voice to create a character. But for Fish Cat, I don't know why. I was just watching a show called Trailer Park Boys. These three guys that are from Halifax, Nova Scotia, and I am in awe of the Nova Scotia accent. So that's originally what I had in mind was like this really big fishy cat with a heavy Nova Scotia accent. It's something like this that that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But then I sort of derailed it over to like a Minnesotan accent, so kind of like Chris Farley was also an inspiration for him in terms of in terms of the voice of the Minnesotan voice, and I just tried to just make it sound a little bit right up here, guy, just see how that goes, and then I just sort of pitch it up a little bit. It's all about pitching. So you can either sound, high up like this, or something over here, or something like raspy or something like that. I don't know. And I just showed that over to TJ, and he loved it. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, push comes to shove, bada bing, bada boom, boom. Fish cat is born, and he's a plumber for some reason. So.
Well, did you know that Chris Farley was supposed to voice Shrek in the original something like that?
I actually did know about that, and I saw some rough cut storyboards, and I just thought, man, what would this movie be like if Chris Farley was still around to play Shrek? That would have been completely different.
Now with a Scottish accent, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly right. But originally, I wanted Fish Cat to sound like he was from Halifax, Nova Scotia, because I could do a pretty good heavy Nova Scotia accent. But I sort of derailed it over to an accent from Minnesota.
Yeah, I remember when I pitched that character to you, and I asked you to do these voices. I'm like, do like a bad Daffy Duck impression, or like I'm like do bad impressions of Yogi Bear or Daffy Duck, and I'm like, oh, you're not. It doesn't fit the character so well. What if I just have you just do a bad Minnesota accent, and it was like really good. Did you know how I come up with that character at all, but the backstory or anything, or like the design?
Not really. All I do know is that you messaged me one day when I was heading out saying, hey, I got a new character for you. I'm like, all right, what is it? And you told me that it's a cat, but it's a fish. I'm like, okay, keep talking. And that's pretty much all it was. I thought the cat would just have like fish features or, something like that.
So the idea, I'm with my uncle. We're messing around. We're talking about puppetry and stuff, and we're talking about fishing too. And I was trying to say catfish, but in my mind it kind of just swapped the words around and called it fish cat. And he started laughing, and I started laughing, and he's like, "Oh, that should be a character. That should be a character." And I'm like, "Oh, it could be a cartoon character. I can definitely see something like that." He's like, "No, it got to be a puppet. Got to be a puppet." And that night we started building Fish Cat, and he was born. And I pitched the idea to Marcello because I was messing around with the voice and messing around trying to the personality and everything, and really came off as a knockoff Swampy. So I'm like, oh, I gotta give this to Marcello because if I kind of figured.
Yeah, I kind of figured it looked like Swampy a little bit, like that could be Swampy's pet or something.
That was the idea we were going as have him as Swampy's pet, and that was an episode that came out recently, and we just scrapped it. We literally just scrapped the idea, but we needed. There's a character that we cut out of the fish episode, and we're moving him to a different episode. But we needed somebody to play the plumber character in that fish episode. So we just moved him. We just moved Fish Cat to that. Kind of makes sense because we're talking about fish, you know? So it kind of makes sense. And he had like that. And I love the accent. The accent kind of worked for it too. So it's like, and I really want to get this character out for you, Marcello, soon as possible. And we did.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it worked. So there is a new character coming out soon that was planned to be the plumber, but it's not the plumber anymore. Fish Cat's the plumber for some reason. So that explains a lot about why he's the plumber. But it kind of worked out at the end, I think.
It did.
What was the question I was about to ask Kevin in Peak?
Something about characters?
Oh yeah, same Marcel.
What was it?
Like something about the characters or, something like that?
The TJ in editing is going to have the question pop up on screen right now, and then it's going to be like, oh, it's that question, and I totally forgot about it.
Like, work of a character.
Which character we want to see more?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin's on a track. He's like, let's get the show on the road, guys. Let's go. Okay, so Kevin, what character do you want to see more in the Toppets universe?
Petunia.
Petunia?
Yes, Petunia.
Petunia.
Don't ask me for a reason, just Petunia.
Just Petunia. That's your reason.
That's the reason. It's Petunia, so I want to see more about her.
My friend Kate, she does a lot of the producing stuff behind the scenes and like the other projects we're working on. She works on. She voices Petunia, and it was all her idea, all her original idea, the design, everything. So that she will be on a future podcast episode. I don't know when, don't know where. That's going to happen soon. But that's Kate. She's a great puppet. She's not a great puppeteer, but she's a great character designer and everything else. But Peak, what about you? What character do you want to see more of?
Oh, that is a tricky, my boy. I would have to say a mix between. We have seen Larry, we've seen Spike, we've seen Swampy, we've seen Petunia. But what Marcelo said, I would have to pick Fish Cat also.
Fish Cat?
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy, isn't he, Marcelo?
Oh, thanks so much there, Guy. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
My answer would be I want to see more of Donut and Ozzy from Roommates. I want to see more of them. Coming in, and I want to see more of them.
I would have to see more of Penny the Plier and Frank the Hammer.
I do want to see more Frank the Hammer and Penny the Pliers, but we also need to see more of Chuck the Coyote. Like, where has he been? He had made one episode, and that's it. Like, one Chuck's Clubhouse.
You gotta do more. You need
to do more. You need to remind me about this, Marcello. You need to be on my back, man. You gotta be like, hey, we need more Chuck. Give us more Chuck. Come on, that's your job. That's your job, man. Oh man, I love Chuck. A great character, but I'm not good at educational stuff. That's my flaw.
Also, he moved on to an education thingy.
Chuck, he was trying to be an educational show explaining about what kids ask, like these weird questions. Marcel, you know what kids ask these weird questions, and we don't have answers for it sometimes. And I know you work with kids.
Why is the sky blue? How come I have to go to school? Why is the grass always green? Hey,
Yeah.
Chuck, you want to take care of this? All right.
That's Chuck. That was the plot of Chuck's Clubhouse, where it's explaining why these things happen. You know, it's like Mr. Rogers and Sesame Street came together and made Chuck's Clubhouse. But that was the idea. But for me, I have to do tons of research and all that stuff, and it's not fun. I do research for the Toppets show sometimes, looking for fun facts or looking for puns. But that's like 15 minutes of research, you know? It's not like a whole day of me researching about why the sky's blue, you know? So that's why it has me in a lot of Chuck's Clubhouse. And the views on that show is not, I don't have a lot of views. And I look for that when I'm making shows. I'm like, oh, if Toppet Tune's getting a lot of views lately, we need to get another Toppet Tune out there as soon as possible, you know? That's what I look for. I look for what's easy for me to write quickly and get it done and over with, and what people want to watch.
And there will definitely be more Toppet Tunes in the future.
Yes, I really hope so. On my notes here, I want to talk more about Toppet Tunes and about how great the writing is, because I don't write for the Toppet Tunes. You write for the Toppet Tunes.
Yeah.
Right, Peak?
Yes.
How do you come up with these jokes, man? They're just zany, but it's in like the humor of the Toppets.
Yeah. Well, that would be a hard one to ask because when I basically did the first episode of Toppet Tunes, I sort of like based it off of an old video I've watched, like back of an old video I've watched. Like there was like Spike the Chupacabra, how they're taking some Skittles, and then he asked Grim if he took it. He said no, and then Reagan, and then there was Scrappy, and then he ate the Skittles, and Spike offered him some Skittles next time, and there was also Larry's opening night, and that was one of my favorites I did so far for Toppet Tunes. And there was supposed to be one for where Reagan went to the bath, where Reagan was going to have a bath, and then Sloppy is in there interrupting the whole thing, and Reagan's like, get out. So that was pretty much it.
That's funny. I totally forgot about that. Is that a one coming out soon, or?
I think I'll get started on the script one after we're done this podcast.
Oh, okay.
I have all weekend.
Yeah, we got Sneaky Back coming out soon. Kevin, lately you have been writing the scripts for Roommates. How do you come up with these jokes, the storyline? How do you come up with that?
I have no answer. These ideas just they appear, and I said, "Oh no, I need to write this." And I start writing the base idea, and when I figure it out, there's a whole script ready to send to you. And I don't know, those ideas just appeared there in my head.
So I wrote some of the first episodes. Did you ever, like, when you read them, you're like, oh, that's Rocky would never say that, or Sam would never do that. Why? Do you ever have that? Like, you ever thought about TJ does not know what he's doing, or he doesn't understand my characters? Do you ever like thought about that during reading the scripts, or do you like ever change any of that?
No, those scripts are perfect. It is the essence of each character, and I love them.
So you're saying I understand your characters. Is that what you're saying? I truly understand.
Absolutely, yes.
Marcello, I have been writing some of your scripts for your new show. What is it called again? The Comedy Hour?
Oh yeah, the Augie, Smitty, and Marv Comedy Hour.
That is very similar to Roommates. And Tools Hard at Work. That kind of quick pace humor. How is that going, by the way? And I know it's not part of the Toppets projects, but it's really interesting seeing how your fan base reacting and the sweet comments. I read every comment of your videos, and man, you're doing a great job over there.
It's something that I wanted to do for a while since I got a green screen, and I mean I'm just pumping out ideas left and right, for characters for each show. But then I just stopped one day and I just went, well, I already have a good core of characters. Let me just use the ones that I haven't used yet. And so Augie, I just used. Marvin was there. Smitty was there. And I just said, well, all right, I could use these three for this comedy hour show that I'm working on. And push comes to shove, I just had like this little concept that they just do like small improv bits, like little comedy bits. And you helped out with the writing. I took care of everything else.
Do you ever thought about these jokes are too much topics, or you ever thought that way when you're reading the scripts, like, oh, this is not my style, or you ever thought about?
Well, I mean, when you send me the script, I mean, I look over the script, but at the same time, when I'm recording the dialogue, I just improvise left, right, and center.
Yeah, recently I've been seeing that you kind of added things that you made my jokes even better that I wrote down. Like you just saved that joke, man. That was a kind of a bad one, but you saved that at the end. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Like I asked for your help with writing some of the stuff. And then when I get it, I just look it over. I'd say, okay, Marvin would say this, Augie would say that, Smitty would say this, and then I just give it a little twist.
Yeah, like the first two, it was note by note by the script. It was the same thing that I had on paper that you had on the video, and it was really good. I loved it.
Thanks.
And then the other ones, I'm like, oh, I'm so surprised. I did not see that coming at all. And like, that was funny. You saved that joke. Like that, the car one. Oh man, I was dying laughing. That was hilarious. That was one of my least favorite ones that I wrote. And you made that one of the best ones to watch.
I'll tell you this much. Like those ideas were originally supposed to be cartoons. But because I don't have the patience to draw frame by frame anymore, puppets are a lot easier.
Exactly. I love animation. Love it. I give everybody respect if they're animators. True respect. I praise peak animation. You know, when he gets a new cartoon, I respect. I praise that sucker. I put that thing on everything. I put that on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I want everybody to see it because it takes a lot of work to animate, and I don't have the patience, the skills, anything. But I just love cartoons. I love the Popeye, love Looney Tunes, love Tom and Jerry.
Popeye was awesome.
What?
Popeye was awesome.
Love Popeye. I just love cartoons. Just love them. And I wanted to be a Pixar animator for the longest time, but I never had the patience or the tech whiz that animators today have. But yeah, that's great stuff, Peak. Peak, you're working on 3 animated series for me. Is that correct?
That is affirmative.
Affirmative. But we also have other animated series from other animators coming out really soon. Some pretty big projects similar to Roommates or Tools Hard at Work.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So we're gonna have those guys come on the podcast when their shows come out to the YouTube channel.
I can't wait to see them.
Yeah, I'm excited for you guys to see what I'm working with because I'm working on some pretty great shows and movies. like the Winnie the Pooh show. We're going to be starting filming in a few days. So that's really exciting. Really nervous with my Winnie the Pooh. So nervous. Marcello tells me all the time, don't do... Who's that voice actor that played Pooh? Marcello, you're like the voice acting nerd here.
Oh, yeah. Like, don't do a Jim Cummings or Sterling Holloway kind of voice, you know?
When I put the puppet on, that's the first thing I'd go for. But when he told me that, don't do it, I just got to remind myself, I'm not doing that Pooh. I'm doing my Pooh. It's just that sound weird, but you know what I mean.
Because you know when people now think about Winnie the Pooh, they either think of Sterling Holloway or Jim Cummings. And well, now that the books of Winnie the Pooh are now public domain, if anyone's going to be doing something is going to be doing anything that involves Winnie the Pooh, they really need to avoid the Disney version.
Yes, exactly. And when you see the new Toppets 100 Acre Wood show, you can totally see, hey, this is not my Pooh. This is not my Tigger. This is not my Eeyore. Who are these guys? We took these characters and we broke them down and added tons of new things. Marcello, you're one of the ones that read the script before the show ever came out, or so you're one of the people that have read the script. And what's your opinion what's your opinion on the show so far without spoiling or giving out too much information?
It's original. I could say that. It's original. Definitely inspiration from the books. Just trying to stay faithful to the original source material and its history. That's all.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know the script that I sent Marcello is not the final script, and we usually improv some stuff. So what Marcello read and some of the other Toppet performers and other Toppet employees have seen is not the script, because it's kind of like the movie industry. There's multiple scripts out because we don't want to spoil things or all that. But Marcello has a script that for a character that he is working on, that only the information he needs to know. And he knows what he has to do, and he's doing a great job. Beautiful things. I think Marcello is one of the people on this project that really is bringing this to life. And I'm happy he's in part of it. My next question, this is just top of my head. What is your favorite Winnie the Pooh character, guys? We can start with Kevin. I haven't heard him for a while. What is your favorite Winnie the Pooh character?
That's a hard question. I've never liked Winnie the Pooh so much. Maybe Piglet.
Piglet?
Yeah, maybe Piglet.
That is interesting.
He's cute.
Is Petunia the cat? The performer of Petunia the cat, Kate, is performing Piglet. So that's really cool. So it's pretty much Petunia. That's going to be very similar right there in our performance. But that right there, and I know you love Petunia and the character, so you're going to love Piglet when you see Piglet. Peak. Who's your favorite Winnie the Pooh character?
Ooh, well, that will have to be a tough one, but I'm going to have to pick a mix between Tigger and Eeyore because those two are my favorites besides Pooh and Piglet, because Eeyore is like, oh dear. He reminds me of something from the old Sesame Street, and Tigger is basically my favorite because he's always hyperactive and all that. And
yeah.
And of course Pooh, because bears are all awesome, and Piglet, like you said. Oh, I forgot your name. Kevin. Okay.
Kevin.
Yeah, and Piglet's just a young pig with anxiety. He goes like, "Oh, deer," and everyone else is all good.
Yeah. For Tigger and Eeyore, they have the most. We changed the personnel. We didn't really change it, but we updated some stuff and made Tigger way different from the books, from the cartoons. So Tigger is way different, and I'm kind of surprised. I'm really excited for people to see this Tigger, because Tigger is so unique. He's Australian, so imagine that. And same with Eeyore. Eeyore is not Australian, but the character's not like the books or like the cartoons. He's more. I'm giving away a lot of information, so I'm gonna keep my mouth shut and wait for you guys to see the final content.
Yeah, please.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoilers. Oh, you guys gotta watch it when it comes out. Well, that's a little plug there. But Marcello, who's your favorite character?
Well, you asked for it. I think the answer is quite simple. If you must understand.
Are you doing an impression of Owl?
That's ridiculous. Why would you think that?
Are you?
I'm sorry. No, Pete. He's doing an impression of Piglet. Come on, man.
Well, look at these guys.
It's Tigger. I got it. I was messing around.
I know.
Oh, man. So we're getting close to the end of the show. But remember, in the beginning of the podcast, I asked you guys to kind of think about a question for each other. So we're going to start with Peak Animation. Do you have a question for somebody that's in the podcast right now?
Not that I know of.
Not you know of? Okay, I'm going to go over to Marcello. Marcello.
All right. This one goes out to Peak.
Yes.
So, a lot of the stuff that you've done with the Toppets already, like outside of the Toppets, what kind of animation work would you do for yourself and put it up on your channel, showcasing your craft, storytelling, and animation?
Okay, Marcelo, this is probably a good one. So be prepared, boys. Well, basically, I have a lot of shows coming up, and there's the Chicken, and there's Cool Yetis, Wood-Sized, Earth Dusty, and Off to Kenya. Right now, we are in the mix for the Chicken 4, and basically the first episode of Off to Kenya coming out. And we're not sure about Cool Yetis yet, but we were planning on making a sequel for it, but we decided, but many of my voice actors have had to go their separate ways and all that, so I had to find new ones and change it all up a bit. So, and Earth to Dusty is just an alien going through space and learning about the Earth and even exploring it from there to there. It's basically about him and his team of aliens as they go and explore Earth. It was sort of like based after Space Scoops because they have aliens themselves, and I enjoy like watching it. And well, I haven't watched a lot of it yet, but it has aliens so far, and it's a pretty good show.
He's the next Walt Disney over here, guys. Kevin, do you have a question for Geek, Marcello, or me?
Yes. It's a basic question, and it goes for all of you, the three of you. What's the best part or that thing that you really, really enjoy of doing what you do? Drawing, illustration, animation, puppetry, I don't know, whatever.
Well, for basically, my animations sort of started as still frames because they didn't really have movement at first because I was just a beginner for animation. But when I started using like Procreate or Flip-a-Clip, that really changed because I started to give them more movements and more actions because and I'm still like studying the whole animation thing. But it doesn't have to be perfect because everyone has their own style. But I still want to be as good as like Pixar or the old Disney movies, like back in the '90s, like The Lion King or Lilo and Stitch.
Honestly, what I love to do, it's a blessing. It's a blessing because it's something that found me, and I never thought that I'd end up in a community where everybody could be so supportive, helpful, and just giving me the chance to grow and improve more into something that I didn't set out to do. I mean, I set out to be an animator for Disney and Nickelodeon, and I just went in a different direction with puppets, and then went into a different direction in teaching. So everything sort of went separate, but overall, in the end, everything just went hand in hand, and just getting to share that passion. It's an even bigger reward. So it's a blessing, and it's something that really makes me happy.
That's cool.
That was really beautiful. Peak, man. Gotta make everybody cry here. Holy cow. Jeez.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I got a book coming out.
Oh, man, wow. Gotta plug that sucker in. Here you go.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is to work with everybody. A lot of people I work with that they're not puppeteers, or they're not voice actors, or they're not animators. But when I ask them, and they come out and they're like amazing. I remember when I asked Peak, he was just doing, was just like a picture of the character, and then another picture of a character, and he was an animator, but challenging him, and then look at him where he is today. He's the next Walt Disney over here, guys. And when Kevin didn't know how to write, he wasn't really good at the scripts. And look at him now; he's making a whole bunch of beautiful, funny jokes left and right. Man, he's gonna be writing the roommates for now on, I guess, because his jokes are better than my jokes. But just like seeing everybody and then challenging them in this is just really incredible. I know some of the top puppeteers and performers over here. They're not puppeteers. They're not voice actors. They're not actors. And I just dragged them along, and they surprised me. And you guys surprise me every project we work on. And that's just incredible to me. And then that's part of my job as the director, is to challenge not just you, but challenge me too, and see how long, push everything to the limits. And that's what I love to do. I love directing, love producing, love filming. I think that's my best part, is filming. I think the worst part is me editing everything. But yeah, that's my favorite part of everything. Oh man. Well, I think we're gonna cut it off here, guys. Thank you for coming on. You can shout out whatever you want. You can shout out you can give a shout out to your own show, your TikTok, your own whatever, you know. You can say thanks to your mom if you really want to.
Yeah.
For the
Thanks
shout
for
out.
watching, guys. Be sure to subscribe to Peak Animations on my YouTube.
And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is just my name. Just type it in, or type in the Figments on TikTok, Instagram, and we got a whole lot of new shows and content coming the way.
Well, then, follow me. I'm Guti Puppets, Instagram and TikTok.
Awesome. You guys can see all their YouTube channels, Instagrams, and whatever else they plugged on down below. Make sure to watch Kevin's Roommates. Make sure to watch Peak's Toppet Tunes and Sneaky Bad and Albert. And watch Marcello and pretty much everything he's in, because it seems like he's the next Stan Lee, makes a cameo and everything, you know. But yeah. Anything else before we go, folks? Anything you want to say to the audience?
Stay cool, folks.
Stay cool. Love that.
DJ event. Ta-ta for now.
Oh, man. Well, everybody, we will see you on another episode of Behind the Toppets. Make sure if you have any questions, leave it down below, and we might bring it up on a future episode. Or if you have a question about roommates or the Toppet tunes or whatever, we will answer it on a future episode. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this very chaotic interview with 3 of the brightest creative people behind the Toppets. And stay tuned for more from us, because we got more people to interview from this team. So this podcast will never end. The show will go on for infinity and beyond. Thank you for watching.
So long, guys.